Hi, hello. Thank you for coming by. Um, yeah, welcome to block 3 of my 24 hours of streaming. So we have done 4 hours so far of gameplay, with another 20 to go. This is block 3, noon to 2 p.m. My time, anyway. Adjust for your own time zone. But for at least the next couple hours, we're going to talk about Extra Life and play a little bit of a solo TTRPG by a friend of mine, actually, a really good friend who was in the chat earlier and is off running a game of their own at the moment. So, but you can find them as. Actually, let me quickly link to the game. And then from there, if you are so inclined, you can then go give them a follow everywhere they are, or at least everywhere that they have linked. But we're going to be playing Raising Hell, in which you chronicle the trials and tribulations of raising a small hellish imp. And I know there are a lot of parents out there who may say to themselves, well, that's just raising a child. In this case, hellish imp is quite literal. Yeah. So we're going to play through that game and sort of see what we can see. But for the first little bit here, I'm going to welcome you in. And then Satanic Gentleness. I love that. Yeah. A single player role-playing game of Satanic Gentleness. I love everything about that. Oh, Madeline Colley, thank you so much for the donation. That is so very kind. Yes, perhaps before I talk further about that, let's talk about like why we're here today. I am raising funds in support of Extra Life. Today is actually the international 24-hour game day for Extra Life. So there are going to be like just a bazillion people out there. And bazillion is a real number. You can look it up. Playing tabletop games today, playing video games today, playing like any sort of game, board games, you name it, all in support of Extra Life. Sorry, it's very warm in the room that I'm in right now. I've actually cracked a window. Hopefully it'll cool it down a little bit. Well, I know it will, because it's currently like minus something Celsius outside. So, the room I'm in, just because it was our game room, and then over the course of the pandemic it became like sort of the junk room a little bit, and then our landlord replaced windows, so we had to move all the shelving that was up against the wall, all the bookshelves of games and stuff like that, away from the wall and into the center of the room. And so it's a very crowded room at the moment, but what that means is like when the furnace kicks in, like the vent is right under the table that I'm using, and that heat doesn't spread out, and so I get like just this big waft of heat from underneath the table. So I'm sort of countering that by opening the window, which is probably more than you needed to know about my streaming environment. But there you are. Yeah, so we're raising funds for Extra Life. I will put the link in the chat. That'll take you to my donation page. There are all sorts of ways for you to help out from there. If you donate directly through the page, then there's all sorts of incentives. There's a link to something I created on Itch called Oath of the Hive for Dungeons and Dragons, in which you can play a paladin who is also a sentient swarm of bees inhabiting a suit of armor. And it is pay what you want, so you can pay nothing if you want to. And that is totally fine, but any money that is paid is going to be donated to Extra Life this year. So, yeah. Let's see. You know what? Actually, I mean, it's probably a horrible stream faux pas, but then I know I've definitely been in streams when other folks have eaten on stream. So if watching somebody eat is not something that is cool for you and you want to duck away for a moment, totally cool with that. I completely understand. But I'm going to be awake for 24 hours, and if I don't, look after myself by eating on the regular, things could get bad. Let's say that. So let's see here. However, I was smart and I made myself like some very simple breakfast burritos. So they're just as delicious on day 2. All right. Yeah, but that's what we're doing today. 24 hours of solo TTRPGs, or for as long as I can go. I'm not going to be a freaking hero about it. My plan B is if I can make it 12 hours today. So I started at 8 a.m. my time this morning. If I can make it to 8 a.m. This evening, fantastic. It just means I will do this. I will do another 12-hour stream, probably next Saturday, and finish playing everything out. I am also running these games every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard, which would be 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing a stream of solo TTRPGs just for like a couple of hours, just to chat and show off a game and talk about tabletop role-playing games and stuff like that. So plenty of opportunity to like join me for stuff like this. Paparazzo99, thank you so much for the follow. That was very generous. Sorry for not saying thank you sooner. I am still getting used to sort of used to streaming. This is literally, if you count just the number of times that I've gone online to stream, this is like my 3rd stream ever running it myself. So I'm still getting used to like, where should I pay attention when I'm streaming? What should I be looking at and stuff like that. So yeah. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be playing a bunch of solo tabletop role-playing games. And then if that changes, if I have to like switch things up, maybe, because, I'll be honest, I woke up this morning not feeling the greatest. I'm muscling through so far. I'm hoping that like, I did have a good breakfast. I'm hoping maybe a good lunch will sort me out, and I'll feel better going into the afternoon. But yeah, we shall see. The point is, I'm here to play games and raise money for sick kids. You can see at the top there my status meter, which is coming directly from my site. So every time someone donates, you'll see that go up. Thank you so much, Madeline Colley, for your donation. Is greatly appreciated. You are a sweetheart. So I'm currently at essentially 78% of my goal. My goal today is hopefully $1,000. And yeah, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. How's everybody else doing? While I sit here and munch food. How's your Saturday going, or wherever you are in the world? Sorry for the sniffling. I am one of those people that when they eat something, immediately get the sniffles. So I think it's called rhinotracheitis or something like that. But doesn't matter, hot or cold. I immediately get the sniffles, and of course I get them worse, as most people do if I eat something spicy. Which I love spicy food. But folks always assume that I'm like suffering horribly when I eat it because of course I get the sniffles and anyway. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, let's just keep chatting a little bit more. I don't want to start the game quite yet. There may be a few. Actually, I may send out like a quick tweet here just to see if I can pull some people in. Let's do another quote tweet. Oh, turns out I did want that. Rising Hell by at Peach Garden Games. Yeah. Yeah, so thanks. I'm actually going to, because I don't think you need to see this. So I'm just going to quickly turn my camera off for a second. You can probably still hear me. Well, you can definitely still hear me because I can see the mic going. So, but I'm going to blow my nose, so I didn't want you to necessarily watch me do that. I mean, probably you didn't need to listen to me do it either, but I don't know. I feel like maybe that's a little bit better than having to watch me do that. So, yeah, so we'll see who responds to that and maybe swings on by. We'll give people a few more minutes. Probably at 12:30 is when we'll start playing proper. In the meantime, yeah, I'm just a really big fan of Extra Life. I've been fundraising for them for like 10 years at this point, and it's I can't imagine as a kid anything worse than being like sick. Like even with just a cold or a flu, if you're a young kid, if you've never had a cold or a flu before, you don't understand what's going on, then like being sick has got to be the worst. It's not great as an adult, but at least you know what's happening and you can like take steps, right? You know it's going to pass. Whereas when you're a kid, you don't have that assurance. You don't know that this is going to be better. This could be your life now, right? The scratchy throat, the cough, the sneezing, the runny nose, that could just be the way things are now. And that, that's awful. So, and then you take that and you multiply that up by by having like something worse than a flu or a cold, something where you have to be under treatment for a long time, like a chronic illness or anything like that. And that has got to be a really huge adjustment. And so I think it's important that we have things like children's hospitals, things that can like focus on like what it is like to, that can focus on helping kids deal with illness, because that is a totally different thing than helping like an adult deal with an illness. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. I'm just trying to raise money to help sick kids. The playing the games will help do that. Your donations will help do that. Getting up to 50 followers so that I can tick off one of the boxes for reaching affiliate status will help me do that, because getting affiliate status on here means that I can unlock a bunch of other like charity related tools that Twitch has. I can't, until I reach affiliate status and stay there for a bit, I can't do I can't use like Tiltify or anything like that. So I can't put like donation links directly into my stream or on my page. And that's totally reasonable. Like, I've only just started streaming. Of course they're going to want to like check me out, and have me put in like a minimum amount of effort before they like, because if I go out there and I don't know, if someone goes out there and bilks a bunch of people out of their money, that's on Twitch, at least partially. That gives them a bad name. So, and they're already suffering enough. They're owned by Jeff Bezos, so that's enough of a cross to bear for anyone. But yeah. So that is why we are doing this. All right. So let's jump in and play some Raising Hell. Actually, first let's talk about solo TTRPGs a little bit. So the main reason we're here is to raise money for Extra Life, but the secondary reason that we're here is because I want to show off solo TTRPGs. There are other folks who have been talking about them, and you should definitely go and check them out. Specifically, I can call out the Party of One podcast, which does some solo and two-player TTRPGs. Definitely worth checking out. But there's a lot that can be done in this space, like just for one person to sit down and play a game. And they predate the pandemic, but I came to them primarily because of the pandemic, because obviously I wasn't able to have my friends over, and there was a period where sort of acclimating to streaming games and stuff like that was a thing. We had to figure out sort of how that was going to work the best. And there was a lot of, feeling that, it wasn't quite like gaming in person, which it isn't. And some ongoing hope that maybe the pandemic would be quick, and that was not the case. And so eventually we settled in. But through that, I started looking more closely at solo tabletop role-playing games, because they're just, they offered me an opportunity to keep playing the type of games that I enjoy, obviously without having to like call up anybody else or rely on anyone else to be there. And I admit going in that I had the sort of trepidation of, I think a lot of folks might have had about solo TTRPGs, that they're either like all like choose your own adventure books with that, sort of silly choices and flip ahead to page whatever and continue the story, or they're all very like navel gazy journaling games where you ask deep questions about your character and by doing so discover important things about yourself. And no question, both of those types of games exist. But I'm here to tell you that if you enjoy, no matter what type of group tabletop role-playing game you enjoy, or even group like board games and stuff like that, there's a solo TTRPG out there for you. Um, I played this past Thursday night when I was running them. I played a game called Delve, which is a wonderful game about mapping out and sort of discovering, digging out and discovering what is underground beneath a dwarven kingdom. You have been tasked with digging down and exploring the caverns underneath, and it's played with a deck of cards, and you draw a map as you're going along. And so at the end of it, like win or lose, however it ends up for you, you have this sort of map of a dwarven kingdom or a dwarven underground area that now you can take into other games if you want to, right? Like that's pretty cool. And there are other mapping games like that where you're, maybe you're exploring stuff, maybe you're placing terrain and things like that, like you're trying to do various things. So if that sort of like area control aspect of like tabletop games or board games interests you, then there are solo TTRPGs that are right up your alley. There are definitely plenty of journaling games. The one that we're going to play in a second here, Raising Hell, is definitely one of those. But there's like just a wide variety. So the game we played in the block before this, Beloved, was also a journaling game, but it was very much a, you play as a toy, a beloved toy of a child. And it's about sort of like, how do you interact with that child? How do you help them grow? Do you help them grow? Because knowing if they grow up, they may not want you around anymore, and so you're no longer a beloved, and then you enter into what is called the dreaming, and you fade for a little bit until hopefully another child finds you and wants to have you around. Hey, Alec, thanks for coming and lurking. I appreciate it. Lurkers are always welcome. So, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of journaling games out there, but they're not all journaling games are the same. It's not like you're going to be like just constantly navel gazing. And like pick a theme. There are journaling games for like literally anything that you can imagine. Horror, fantasy, science fiction. We're going to touch on some of those today. Like I said, Raising Hell, which is what we're going to play in a second here, is a journaling game, but it's a journaling game about raising a little imp, a little hellish baby. So, which is a completely different tone from, like, for instance, The Beloved that we played in the last block. So, and then there's just as many, just as many different types of games. You can still play adventure games. You can still play, you can be the bold adventurer. You can be, be anything you want. One of the ones we're playing later on is called Hex. Gonna get this name wrong if I don't look at it. So let me just do Honey Hex. And in that one, we play as bees. We've established a new hive, and we're just exploring the area around the new hive to try and figure out like where everything is. So again, it's sort of a mapping game and sort of a resource management game. Because as we're doing that, there are things we have to do in order to make sure our hive thrives while we're out exploring. So it's not just a matter of picking a direction and just sort of seeing what's there. We have to make sure the hive does well, because if it doesn't, bad things will happen. But having said that, I think let's take a look at Raising Hell. So the game does have diabolical themes. We're going to be talking about hell a lot. And the game, although I will say the game does have the main theme of satanic gentleness. But in order to play this game, we will need a deck of cards. And I feel it's appropriate to grab my Unspeakable Words deck of cards. So we'll get that deck out. A pencil and something to write draw on. So I've got a pen. Where I'm going, we don't need pencils. And I've got a pad of paper here. And a pair of six-sided dice. Okay. So I've got in my... I just want to show this. Probably won't be the last time I show this off during the stream, but so this is one of my jars of random dice. As you can see, scale-wise, it is about the size of my head. This jar used to hold chocolate-covered mint patties. So it is just a big candy jar full of dice. And there's another one similar in size to it around somewhere. I don't just hoard dice for the purpose of hoarding dice, although there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So, you know, don't get at me in chat if you do. But I used to run in the before times. I used to run a lot more organized play games, mostly for Pathfinder and stuff like that, but for a lot of tabletop role-playing games. And so when you're running big events like that and you're sort of like inviting people to come in and play, possibly for the first time, it behooves you to make sure that they have the items they need to do that. And one of the ways you do that is making sure you just have a metric butt ton of dice kicking around. And yeah. Actually, the reason that usually that jar is only like about half full, but over the course of the pandemic and specifically in moving back into this game room space and starting to tidy up, I gathered up all the loose dice and put them back in the jar, and so now it's full again. Yeah. So that's enough showing off my dice. Back to the game. So you will need a deck of cards, a pencil and something to write on, a pair of six-sided dice. I have all that. You may want a printed copy of the ranch sheet, a printed copy of the devil sheet, and a snack. Well, I don't have the first two. I will make do without. And I did have a snack before, like a little earlier, so we are fine. I love the description here. Larval devils. When a devil egg first hatches, deviled eggs, it's a little foggy blob, like someone threw a bucket of murky water into the air and it just stuck. It whirls around trying to explore the world and express itself, and it has limitless potential. Larval devils are cute in their own way, but they can be so much more too. That is where you come in. With love, attention, and the right training, this larval devil can grow into a formidable denizen of hell in its own right. It's your job to raise your larval devil into a proper devil, to take good care of it, and feed it properly so that it can become a winner. Okay. About your devil. So there are 4 things you need to keep track of as your devil grows. You need to keep track of sins. I mean, that seems pretty obvious. moves, age, and affection. All right. As your devil trains and gains sins, they get stronger. You use your sins, modified by your moves, in order to win tournaments. Aim to be a devil-raising champion. And then... Oh, okay, so there's a list of sins. There's just 4 instead of the so we've got sins, we've got lust. Lust lets your devil use magic and charming attacks. Pride lets your devil withstand powerful attacks. Wrath lets your devil physically attack opponents. And gluttony lets your devil move quickly and dodge attacks. Okay. So age dictates how easy your devil is to train. In each age range, your devil will have a specific set of dice to roll for training and a specific set of tournaments to enter. A baby only rolls 1 die when training. They're growing fast, but they're still too young to train seriously. A juvenile rolls 3 dice when training. This is when they grow the most, and properly taking advantage of this time is the best way to raise a great devil. An adult rolls 2 dice when training. It's absolutely possible to teach an old devil new tricks. And then affection measures how close you and your devil have grown. It's important to raise a strong devil, but if you and your devil have a close bond, your devil will be more motivated. So for each year of training, you draw 5 cards from the deck. These represent training opportunities that you have. Maybe there's a especially big buffet to help raise gluttony, or a good sparring opponent to help with wrath. If it is a face card, there's a chance for your devil to go on an adventure. You don't need to roll any dice. The sin associated with the card goes up by 1, and your devil learns a new move too. Nice. It can be difficult to let your baby devil go on adventures all on its own, but it'll be fine. If the card you drew is a number card, then you have a choice. You can choose to attempt the training, or you can choose to take the week off and play. Training is hard. Sometimes the training is too hard for your devil and it won't learn anything. If you decide to try training, you roll 1 to 3 dice depending on your devil's age. If the total on the dice is higher than the card's value, then the sin associated with the card goes up by 1. If the total on the dice is lower, your devil didn't learn anything. Aces count as 1. So go ahead and take a free training day when you see one. And then if you decide to take the week off, your devil gains +1 affection. They are slothful little creatures by nature, and they love when you don't make them do any work. Okay. Well, let's just jump in and start playing, because it seems pretty straightforward. And I don't want to... Okay, so let's see what we get here. So the first thing we do is we will draw a card. To see what we... So it's just a little larval devil, but even as a larval devil, it's sort of like it can... have special abilities based on. So draw the card, and it is diamonds. So if it is a diamond, start your devil with 1 point of wrath. They hatch with legs, sometimes multiple sets. Yeah, I like that. So he's got a point of wrath and then 0 in the other sins, but we'll pick those up. And then we are going to do... so I just have like a baby. I think I'm going to start with a baby. I think that sounds like the most fun to me. So... I'm going to... yes, I'm a brand new devil breeder, so I have to give myself a ranch name. You'll be delighted to know that the name that Cat put in here for their ranch is Hell's Half Acre. That delights me to no end, so I'm hoping that it will also delight you. But let's see, what is my ranch name? I don't know. How about the how about the Bar D? Yeah. D for devil. Sure. All right. So I hatch my devil, and I drew a diamond, so it starts with a point of wrath. I have 0 sins. I can draw my larval devil. And the very first thing we do is go to a we're getting involved in a tournament. So no sooner have I received my first larval devil than I am expected to like put them into a tournament and get them going. So so I have the move Covet. Covet allows me to increase one of my sins during a tournament. And so let's see what my first tournament is. So again, you shuffle the cards. All right, so having shuffled the cards, I'm going to give them one more shuffle. I was using these on Thursday, and so they may still be in a little bit of an order. So the tournament is, this is Heart. So I'm going to the Good Egg Cup. In order to win it, I have to raise my lust to 2. Well, I'm a baby. I can use Covet. Right now my lust is 0. So you win tournaments by making moves. You start by making a free opening move. So I get this one for free. So yeah, I'm going to Covet. I'm going to raise my lust. By 1. And then you can make 1 move for every point of affection your devil has. Currently, I don't have any points of affection because we haven't even started training. We haven't taken a week off. We haven't done like any of that stuff. So affection is 0. So there's nothing else my devil can do. Once you've made one move for every point of affection, check your sin totals. If you exceed the requirements, you win. So if your devil wins the tournament, they gain 1 affection and 1 sin of your choice permanently. Note a trophy in your trophy case. If your devil loses the tournament, they gain 1 sin, the same one as the tournament required. So actually by losing, I have managed to raise my lust to 2. So who knows? I may go forward next time. Maybe we pull hearts again, and then I can do this. So lost the first tournament. Not a great start to my devil raising, but you know you got to start somewhere, right? Q Eye of the Tiger. But now we go into the first training phase. Where my larval devil is just a baby. So, training phase, shuffle the deck, and draw a card. And I really hope I draw like an ace, because an ace is basically free training. Because remember, the idea is or any face card would be cool too. So, Jack of Clubs. That is sweet. Okay, so drawing a face card, Jack, Queen, or King, means I gain 1 sin depending on the card's suit. And in this case, clubs increase my gluttony. So that means I gain 1 gluttony. And I can pick a new move from the list later on in the game. So let's see. Let's go to the move list and see. Moves. I think it's clubs, so I have to pick a gluttony move. Swarming Greed. Switch your gluttony with any other sin until the end of the tournament. No. Hunger Overwhelming. Roll 1 die and add the result to your gluttony until the end of the tournament. Vicious Bite. Add 3 to your gluttony until the end of the tournament. I think I will... I'm going to go with Vicious Bite. I just like the idea. Yeah, I'm raising a biter. This little guy is a biter. I don't even know that it's a guy. Doesn't really matter. But yeah. So, and then I will just make note that I have a potential +3 if I want it for gluttony. So then we go back up. It's a baby. Now, if I hadn't taken a face card, if I had instead picked like a number card, I had a choice. I could either skip the training and gain 1 affection, or I could roll my die and attempt the training. So obviously, if I have to roll a number higher than the card's value, then I would gain a sin depending on the suit. So obviously, because I'm training a baby and they only have 1 d6 to roll, there's no point in me doing that. If I drew a card that was like a 7 to if I drew a card that was a 6 to 10, because you have to roll higher than the card's value. then I might as well just take the week off and gain one affection, because there's no way I can beat that. But we didn't do that. So, and then we're going to repeat this process 4 more times for a total of 5 training opportunities. So this is like, these are the big yearly tournaments, and then in between we do a lot of training. So this is my my second draw of the cards, 9 of diamonds. So that is a, so yeah, there's no way I can beat a 9. So instead of going after that, I'm just going to take a point of affection. We're just going to take the day off. We're just going to take the day off. Baby's already got enough wrath. We don't need to do that. Next card is another. It's the 10 of spades. Yeah, again, I can't beat that on a d6. So baby's just going to take like another point of affection. And take another rain day. I mean, it's a baby. You know, babies, they sleep. They sleep a lot. They just lay around and they basically sleep and poop. I don't even want to think about what devil babies poop. Next one is a 10 of clubs. So clubs give gluttony. So, I mean, the very cool thing is your baby starts to gain some sins right away. So far, I haven't gotten any pride. I haven't. Oh, wait, no, I did. 10 of spades. So pride. I just hadn't marked it down. I was busy talking. And then one more card. The 8 of clubs. So again, there's no way that I could beat that. So clubs give gluttony. Whew. So gluttony is movement. So actually my baby has gotten like pretty spry. I don't know how that happened with him just like, or with it just like lying around, resting up. Oh, actually, what am I doing? There was no way to beat that. So that is not another point of gluttony. That is a point of affection, because we're just going to take the week off. So yeah, only one card let me sort of, well, 2 cards actually let me raise abilities, but I got 3 points of affection. So that means in the next tournament, I can do more. So, and in fact, we're on to the next tournament. And I'm going to shuffle the cards some more. Yeah. And so this is essentially how play is going to progress. As you go along, you're going to you're just going to raise like you know, draw cards, train, go to tournaments. So this next tournament, Queen of Diamonds. So if it's a diamond, you are going to the Adolescence Classic. In order to win, I have to raise my wrath to 8. Okay. My wrath is currently at 1. All right. Once you've made your opening move and 1 move for every point of affection. So I was only able to, out of the 5 training sessions, I was only actually able to get training 1s. Everything else was too high. So, but even then, like my covet move allows me to raise something by 1. But even with my free move and my covet moves, I can only get my wrath up to 6. So unfortunately, that means I'm going to lose this tournament too. Yeah. And And sorry, I just need to quickly check something here. It's important for me to find out if Covet permanently raises my... something I've forgotten. Raise any sin by 1. Yeah, it doesn't say temporarily, and it uses that language elsewhere, so I think it's permanently, which makes sense. The idea is that you're getting stronger as you go. So, okay. Yeah, so I use my Covet 5 times. I will raise my Wrath. You know, up to 6. But that is not enough for me to win the tournament. Unfortunately, my Vicious Bite is a bonus to my Gluttony, not my... So, unfortunately, I can't even pop it up with that. So, unfortunately, I lose the tournament again, but I still gain 1 sin, the same one that the... So, actually, I have a Wrath of 7 now, so... I didn't like losing the tournament. Baby is angry. But now it's time for more training. Cue training montage by the Mountain Goats. And now they'll grow. Now there is the potential for them to like grow even more. So this is going to require 3d6. Because now they're a juvenile. And so they roll 3d6 for training. And this is the super important block. Just going to quickly check. I will put... If you're just joining us, we are playing Raising Hell, in which we are raising a now a juvenile devil, the best way we can, so they grow up big and strong. And we're doing it in support of Extra Life, so please do, if you can, follow the link through. Yeah, and donate if you can. But we're in our second training phase as a juvenile. So as a juvenile, we get to roll 3d6 when it comes to training, which means we have a fairly decent chance of beating numbered cards, because we just have to roll higher than whatever the and I think I'm probably going to... Hey, Paparazzo. I think I'm probably going to train when I can instead of taking skipping a day and getting affection, because I've got like 4 affection. So unless the number is like really high, I may chance it, just so we can get some of that extra training in. Let me just quickly check chat again. Yeah, so again, if you're new here, if you're just popping in for the first time, and you want to give the channel a follow, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That's going to help me get to affiliate status and unlock the ability for the channel to do some charity streaming and stuff like that. So I appreciate that a great deal. But yeah, otherwise we're going to keep playing Raising Hell and raising our baby imp. All right, so first card, 4 of clubs. I feel pretty good about being able to roll higher than a 4 on 3d6. So, and in fact, I do roll an 11. So, clubs is gluttony. So, gluttony is, yeah, looking pretty good. So we'll do that. 5 of hearts. Yeah, we'll train for that. A little higher than 5. I do 9. So lust goes up by 1. Joker. I think I should have taken the jokers out of the deck, so we'll just put that off to the side. 7 of diamonds. Diamond gives wrath. Wrath is pretty high. But what the heck? I suspect is... Oh yeah, I beat a 7, so... Wrath is now at 8. 8 of spades. Spades increases pride. Pride is currently my lowest stat at just 1, so yeah, we want to try and... Oh, yep, and we roll above that. And then my last training phase is the Queen of Diamonds. So it's a face card. So Wrath is just going to automatically go up by 1. So I have a Wrath of 9 now. So I really hope that like the next tournament is Wrath based, because that gives me the best chance of doing this. And then I will reshuffle the cards, because I know we're going to need to do that. So no surprise, as the juvenile, as my imp is going into sort of like the teen years, is becoming like more wrathful. So Six of spades. I have to get my pride to 13. Oh, sorry. One thing I should have done is that I get a move associated when I pull the face card. That's one of the things, is that I get a move associated with that. So which one did I raise? I raised spades. Spades, pride moves. Oh, okay. I think I'm going to take Noble Aspiration. Noble Aspiration allows me to switch my pride with any other sin until the end of the tournament. So, yeah. All right. And sorry, back to the tournament. So, I have to get my pride to 13 in order to win this. So currently my pride is only 2, but if I use my free move to use Noble Aspiration, I can switch to Wrath, which is at 9, which then I just need to add like 4 more to it, which I can actually do, because then I have 4 affection moves. I can use Covet 4 times, and raise Wrath by 1. So that would get me to 13. 3, 4. So yeah. Let's see here. So that means I win the tournament. So I gain 1 affection, raising my affection to 5. And I gain a sin of my choice permanently. And then I note a trophy in my trophy case. So I won the... what is the spade? I won the Shrieking Torment Cup. I'll just write that down. Yeah. Let's see here. All right, so I've won. Feels good to win. After the tournament, and this is the final. All right, so that was the training phase. Yeah. Final training phase, adult. So I go down to 2d6 at this point. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly go through and pull out the other Joker. There we go. I should have pulled them out at the start. But, yeah. All right, this is the final training phase. Final training montage. So they're going to grow a little slowly because, you know, we go down to 2d6 from 3d6. But same as before. If we draw a face card, we increase the sin associated with that suit, and then we pick a new move. And then otherwise, if we post the number, we have to decide whether we're going to try and roll over that number in order to get the increase, or whether we're going to. So we do that 5 times. So the first card is a 9 of diamonds. Diamonds would give me more wrath. Wrath is already pretty high, actually. So I think for that one, I'm going to just take the point of affection. Because the more actions, I have some pretty low scores, so the more actions I can take, probably the better. Next up is going to be the 2 of hearts. Hearts give lust. I feel pretty good about being able to beat a 2 on 2d6. Yeah. So we'll do that. Ace of hearts is like basically free. I have to beat a 1 on 2d6. So just enjoy the free training. My lust is now at 5. 3 of clubs. Clubs is gluttony. Yeah, I'll take. Yeah, I beat a 3, so. And hopefully 3 of spades is just going to give me more pride. Let's see, and I beat that, so. All right. So that is my last adult training phase. So now I have successfully raised an imp up to adulthood. Before they go off into the world, they have to do one more tournament to choose to show how strong we have become. And so we're just going to do that here. And this is going to be the tournament of diamonds. We're going to the Veterans Cup. In order to win, I have to raise my wrath to 20, which I feel pretty good about considering my wrath is currently 13. And I have a free move plus 6 moves because of my affection. So between a free move and a free move and then 6 covet actions, I can absolutely win this tournament. So so I raise my wrath to 20. I win the tournament. I gain 1 affection. And I gain a sin of my choice permanently. I'm going to... it's a proud moment. I'm going to raise pride. What the heck? Might as well throw a point into my lowest stat. And at this point, it's time for my devil to retire. But there are rules in here for legacy play. So if you want to start a new game with your old devil on hand to help out, then go back to the beginning and start the game over again. When you were hatching your new larval devil, however, for every trophy your ranch has won, increase one of the new devil sins by 1. For example, if your last devil retired with 2 trophies and you drew a heart, you can start the game with lust, wrath, and pride all at 1 instead of 0. So, there you go. And that is how a game of Raising Hell goes. Cat has included very handily, if you're sort of confused about how everything goes, then Cat has very helpfully put in like a sample game at the end, so you can sort of see how everything works and see when things go up and stuff like that. And so yeah, there's even a cute little character sheet that is very nice, nicely laid out, where you can put your devil's name, and then you can draw pictures of your devil as an egg, a baby, a juvenile, an adult. That's one thing I didn't really dive into, is that as your devil is growing up, of course, they're changing in appearance and stuff like that. And so you can decide what your devil looks like at each stage of their life, as they grow from an egg through the larval stage and into juvenile and then an adult. But yeah, that is the solo TTRPG Raising Hell. Wonderful game. I will let me put the link to it again in chat. Go check it out. Pick it up for yourself. It is a ton of fun. If you got, I think this is from the Solo But Not Alone bundle number 2. So if you picked up that, you already have this game, and you can just go and check it out and play it for yourself. I have to imagine that if you sat down with some friends and really wanted to, there has to be a way to like raise devils together and maybe even if you don't directly fight each other in these tournaments, you can sit around together and raise your devils and have fun that way. But yeah, that is just a fun little solo TTRPG about raising devils. So I hope that was enjoyable. Please do grab the game if you so desire. And yeah. Yes, Solo But Not Alone is the name of the bundle. So if you got that, it's Solo But Not Alone, and then Solo But Not Alone 2, because the second one was this past year. is in one of those bundles, and if it's not in that bundle, then if it doesn't happen to be in the bundle, that's yeah, I'm alone over here, so I've got like Twitch moderation auto mod up pretty high, but I can quite easily go and find. I don't know that it's still available for folks. But let's go to itch and see what we can. Oh, here we go, bundles. Well, that's not helpful at all. Okay, never mind. I have another way to get to this. Because I bought it. So I can just go to, so here is yeah, I will link to the bundle. So this is the solo but not alone. There you go. So it's still there, but you can't buy it as a bundle. However, it still lists, the page is still there, and it still lists all the games involved. So you can go through that list and find like all the stuff that was involved in that bundle. And then I'm going to do Solo But Not Alone 2 as well. Which is also still there. Again, you can't buy it as a bundle anymore. That ended in March. But all the games that were in that bundle are listed there. And you can... and if you did pick up the bundle and you haven't had a chance to look through it yet, I highly recommend it. Do go through and find. So one thing that Kat did that I don't know that a lot of people who do bundles do is Kat actually went through and created a Google Sheet. So when you downloaded the bundle, you would have also gotten a file that was like basically a spreadsheet of all of the games, and it breaks them out by sort of like theme and that sort of stuff. Yeah, thanks, Dave. But and yeah, lots of really good stuff in there. And again, like I talked about at the top of this section, it's a great opportunity to go in and just sort of see the wide variety of stuff that is available for solo tabletop games, because there's just tons of stuff out there. Yeah. So once again, we sort of wrapped up the game early, which is good because I've been fighting sort of like a, well, currently it's just a headache. It feels like it wants to turn into a migraine, and I'm hoping that is not the case, because that is going to bring things to a screeching halt pretty darn quick. So, going to drink some more water. I know that looked like it wasn't water, but it is actually just sparkling water. We are not affiliated with Bubbly, but it is darn tasty. So if you like flavored sparkling water, highly recommend. Yeah. So that was that was Raising Hell. Playing it in support of Extra Life. If you would like to donate to Extra Life, there is the link. And you can go there, check out the incentives, make a donation if you so desire. My goal today is to get to $1,000. I would absolutely love that if we could get there, but you know, I will be happy with any portion of that. Yeah. How's everybody else doing? Maybe I need some more coffee. There we go. During this lull, I will take this opportunity to eat a little bit more. Yeah. Everybody having a good Saturday so far? Yeah, I see it's snowing out there. If it's snowing like this here, it's probably worse everywhere else. Yeah. Go delete the tweet I replied to with that. I don't know what that means, Dave. Yeah. All right. Oh, gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, having multiple spots open can be trifle confusing. Um, yes. So if you are joining us, you are in the right place. I am doing solo tabletop role playing games. I am taking a very short break and eating on camera, which is probably like a faux pas, but I don't really care. I'm doing this for 24 hours, and so folks are just going to have to get used to me like stuffing my face as I have time to do so. Um, but I'm playing solo tabletop role playing games in support of Extra Life, so thank you for coming by and checking things out. Um, if you're new here, I encourage you to throw a follow to the channel. This 24-hour day is not all we're going to do, but I hope to do more stuff in the future. And if I can reach affiliate, that gets me like um, extra tools I can use for streaming and stuff like that, so, or for charity streaming specifically. So. Well, Dave, if you go over to my website, actually the post that's up there right now has a list of everything I have planned to play today. But mm-hmm. It's almost like I planned it. Almost. Mm. Yeah, that sounds like fun, Dave. I mean, so far today we've been a beloved children's toy, an imp razor, and a disaffected teen in a 2000s Taco Bell. So, um, so it's been a pretty busy day. um, but I think for right now, that's true. And I did just have burritos, so that's not a bad day either. But I think for right now, I am going to. So every one of these blocks, I've been sort of like stopping the stream and then restarting in order to come back. Basically, so that I don't end the day with like a 24-hour VOD, 24-hour long VOD. I end up with like 12 roughly 2-hour ones. So this seems like a good point for me to do that, stop the stream for a little bit, take a break, and come back. You are welcome to hang around and chat if you want to do that. If you got to move on with your day, I totally understand. Thank you so much for spending even a little bit of time here. And yeah, I'll put the link in chat one more time for Extra Life. That is where my donation page is. Oddly enough, if you go to my donation page, I think I'm simultaneously streaming there right now. So if you are able to head over there and help out, that is fantastic. Anonymous, thank you. Thank you so much for your donation. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Dave. I appreciate it. Feel free to stop back. Although I think during this break, I'm going to have to assess whether or not this is a migraine and what I want to do about that. So plans may suddenly change, but we'll figure out what we're going to do. Yeah, so thanks for coming by. I'm going to stop the stream and then restart it. See everyone in a bit.